Hi everyone, I'm Bill. I'm the owner of Pineapple Games, and I'm also the creator of the game 321 Piñata. And in this video, I want to show you how you can quickly get set to play your new game. First, you'll want to deal 5 cards to each player. Keep these cards a secret from other players. The rest of the cards go face down in the middle of the playing area while they will serve as a draw pile. Place and stack all of the candy cards next to the draw pile, and finally give the Piñata stick card to the youngest player, or you can just decide on your own who gets this. This card stays in front of the player who has it. You don't hold it with the other cards in your hand. The player with the Piñata stick goes first. To win, you need to collect candy cards. The first person who collects 5 candy cards wins the game. So here's how you play the game. You want to collect candy cards, and the way you collect candy cards is through the count. If you bring the count to 0 or 10 on your turn, you'll get a candy card, and at the beginning of the game, the count starts at 5. Players will play a single card that will either increase or decrease the count. That player will announce what the count changes to based on the value of the card being played. For example, a -1 card is played. That player would say 4, since 5 minus 1 equals 4. That player's turn is over and play moves to the next person. If the next player then plays a +3 card, that player will now say 7, as the count was at 4, and adding 3 brings the count to 7. Gameplay continues until the count reaches 0 or 10 exactly. When a player successfully makes the count reach 0 or 10, that player is awarded 1 candy card. But if you have the Piñata stick card, you'll get double the candy cards. So that means you'll collect 2 candy cards instead of 1. Once a player has scored, the count resets back to 5 and the game continues until someone wins. It's important to note that the count may not exceed 0 or 10 on your turn, so no cards may be played that would result in exceeding those limits, say like going to -1 or to 11. All cards that have been played must always be placed in the discard pile, and this pile can sit next to the draw pile. Now, this is important. After someone has scored a candy card from the count, take all the cards in the discard pile and move them somewhere out of play. Start a new discard pile and continue playing. This will help you avoid forgetting what the count is at, which I'll address a little bit later in this video. During your turn, players may also play utility cards on their turn. These cards provide advantages or protections in the game. Now you may be wondering, when do I draw cards to replenish my deck? Well, drawing cards must always take place at the beginning of your turn and not at the end or any time in between. The number of cards a player will draw is based on how many cards are in their hand when their turn starts. The rule is draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. This will usually mean that a player draws a single card at the start of their turn, but they could draw more depending on what took place from their last turn. Now, if you ever forget where the count's at, simply recount the cards that you have in your discard pile. Since the count always starts at 5, you can simply add or subtract the cards that are already in the discard pile to get where you are in the count. This is why it's so important that after someone scores a candy card, you remove the discard pile and you start a new one. So that way you can start from scratch in case someone forgets where you're at from the count and simply recount the cards that are in the new discard pile. So here's a little example. Since the count always starts at 5, if the following cards were played, the count would be at 8. Because we'd start at 5, we'd +3, then -2, then +3, then -1. All of those cards added and subtracted from 5 would equal 8. So that's how you know where the count would be. And that's it. That's how you play 3-2-1 Piñata. And remember, the game ends when a player has collected 5 candy cards. Now, if you have any other questions, please refer to our website, or you can refer to the rule booklet that you have in hand. There are certainly more things that you can learn, but this video will get you started, and then you can get straight into gameplay to figure out kind of how you'll strategize and how you'll want to play. Well, thanks for watching this video. Have fun with your game.